Yeah, I can't really figure this out. Guy says all cops are pigs and then says black people don't tip. It's all over the place. He's a Nazi and then he wants men and girls sports. He's an oyster farmer, but he hates lobstermen. Like, I don't get it. He's like said so much stuff. I have the oppo sheet right here, fresh from the RNC press shop. It's thick, Jessica. I don't even have time to read it. It's just disgusting. I mean, it's even bad for me. He's like Trump. He has said so much. It's like, where do you even start?
You love Trump, though.
I do, but he hasn't said this stuff. This is bad. And I swear the man does not have a Nazi tattoo. I've never seen Trump naked, but that's what Democrats are going to have to start doing. Before a candidate runs, they're going to have to say strip. Because I got to know if you got a Nazi tattoo.
Oh, my gosh. I liked the theatric beating of the RNC.
I mean, this is the thickest jacket of Oppo I've ever seen. It's 5, and it's dense. He called Jesus a zombie.
Oh.
What do you mean, oh?
You think if someone hears I'm going to get
Let's run him for Senate. Jesus is a zombie. Run him for Senate.
So that gentleman that they were just talking about there is a guy by the name of Graham Platner, running as the Democrat nominee in the state of Maine against the Republican Susan Collins, who I'm sure you guys are familiar with. Yeah, Rhino Susan Collins. And that is why I say, one of the reasons why I say, we still got to support Susan Collins. Because the alternative is a whole lot worse, okay? A whole lot worse. But then also, we can't reward this type of nonsense. I mean, let's think about this here. This guy, from the reports, allegedly had a Nazi tattoo, okay? Has said some vile, disgusting things online. Just think, if a Republican had done that, how this would be getting run in the media. Yeah. But instead, this is the type of, softball little things that he's getting asked instead.
Graham, there have been a lot of things said about you, things you have written on Reddit, a tattoo you had, and a controversy around that. And I want to ask you this, because I don't think it's been put to you this way before. Is there anything you've done or said that you regret that did not come from the stresses you internalized from post-traumatic stress itself? That is to say, is PTSD the explanation for everything, or did you also just make some additional human errors that you want to explain or contextualize?
Yeah, I'll be upfront. I've never laid the entire fault of my previous opinions at earlier parts of my life at the feet of only post-traumatic stress. I mean, when I left the military, I came out of a hyper-masculine, hyper-violent place. I did 4 tours in the infantry. We have a crude sense of humor in the infantry. We certainly have I would say, narrow view of a lot of topics. And that colored my opinions and my beliefs. Once I left and came out and interacted in the civilian world with lots of different people with very different experiences than my own, many of those beliefs and thoughts and even just language changed significantly over time. I didn't have some of those. I mean, some of that was not because of my combat service, but much of it was because of the culture I had come out of. And over the years in between, I've met a lot more people, had a lot more experiences, learned a lot more about the world, and my opinions have changed.
Now, do you think the media would be giving him weak questions like that if he were a Republican? Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. It would be wall-to-wall coverage on how terrible he was and how indicative he is of where the Republican Party is and blah, 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 blah. A bunch of nonsense. Now, the good news is there are some Dems who are, saying, hey, we can't rock with this Graham Platner guy. And I think that says a lot considering how the Democrat Party has, especially more recently, done things. They've been pretty close-knit. They've kept things pretty close to chest. They haven't really put too much out into the ether as far as it goes when, there's internal battles or struggles like the whole AOC versus Chuck Schumer situation going on. they pretty much keep it all behind closed doors. So for some Democrats to come out and openly say, yeah, no, we can't support this Graham Platner guy, it's pretty significant. That should tell you how bad he really is. So yeah, but here's another thing that I found quite interesting. They realize that their candidates and their policies are too far to the left. They realize this. They understand this. And so they're taking candidates and they're advertising them as moderates. I just talked about James Tallarico the other day. They're advertising people like James Tallarico as a moderate. And he's not. He's not. This is not anybody who's anywhere near the middle on anything. This is the far left guy. He's the same thing as Jasmine Crash Out Crockett. It's just he's a white man and she's a black woman. That's the only difference. When it comes down to policies and the way that they vote, the policies are the same and the way that they vote is exactly the same. Okay? But that is what they are attempting to do now. Take these far leftist candidates and advertise them as moderates. But in reality, they're just far leftists, but they know that would never win in a general election.
Moderate establishment candidates and more than 60% of their primaries get beaten by far left candidates. Just a small sample, former Bernie Sanders staffer Ana Lilia Mejia won a special congressional election in New Jersey. And there are more socialist candidates like Chris Robb in Pennsylvania, Abdul Al-Sayed in Michigan. And then there's Graham Platner in Maine and James Tallarico in Texas. You know, the guy who says God is non-binary. A new opinion piece now warns Democrats try to pass off weird progressives such as Tallarico as normal. And here's part of it. Quote, just about every candidate Democrats put forward is cut from the same progressive cloth, no matter where they are running. Those candidates then play a character pretending they are nothing more than, say, a Maine oyster farmer or, in Tallarico's case, a humble Texas pastor. One brief look into their history shows that it's all a sham. A Maine state senator puts it this way.
That extreme position is not going to be something that voters reward here in November. I find it highly embarrassing that this is where the Democratic Party is, not just in the state of Maine, but across the country at this point, with the most extreme sort of tail wagging the dog effect.
Well, a recent poll found 53% of potential Democrat supporters and nearly 2/3 of Democrat-leaning independents are dissatisfied with the party. Power panel now. Cassie Smedley, GOP strategist, and Megan Hayes, former Biden White House director of message planning. Megan, I'm coming to you on what's the plan to go ahead when you look at 60% of the primaries have gone to far left candidates beating the moderate establishment people. What does that tell you? Your party's changing?
I think it's the same thing that's happening in the Republican Party. Senator Cassidy just lost to a more right-leaning candidate.
She tried it. Completely different. What we have going on in the Republican Party is a base who is sick and tired of having Republicans lie to us and say that they're going to go to D.C. and battle the Democrats, and then as soon as they get to D.C., they're ha-ha and kiki and high-fiving and snorting booger sugar right along with the same folks that they say that they're going to battle against. But when they get in front of the cameras, it's back to business as usual. Hey, those Democrats are terrible people. Nah, we're sick of that. We're sick of it. We're done with it. It's over with. It's a wrap. Democrats don't play that game when they're in power, and we shouldn't be playing it either, and we're done with it. What's happening in the Democrat Party, though, is the far left that the Democrats coddled for so long is now beginning to take over. You know, the parasite is taking over the host, so to speak. And there's absolutely nothing that they can do about it. They cannot put that genie back in the bottle. And it's going to spell doom for them. It's going to spell doom for them. They aren't going, they got Abigail Spanberger through, but now that is revealed exactly what they were doing. Remember, Abigail Spanberger, the now Democrat governor of Virginia, was being cast as a moderate. But as soon as she got into office, I mean, she's gone with the most furthest left policies possible, including, but not limited to, proposing all types of taxes. A tax on dog walking, a tax on dog grooming, an extra tax on gym memberships, dry cleaning, counseling tax, storage facility tax, event tax, home repair tax, vehicle repair tax, digital personal property tax, tax on fantasy sports contests. I mean, just tax. I mean, just what? Does that seem like a moderate to you? Somebody that's near the middle? Like, no, that seems like far left Democrat policies. We're going to take from the haves and gives to the have-nots by taxing the crap out of all of you. And that's what we're going to do. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So if you needed another reason to get out and vote in these midterms, there you have it. Don't believe the hype when they say that they're moderates and they're just regular, everyday Americans and blah, blah. Don't believe it. It's a bunch of nonsense. It's BS. They're doing it with James Tyler Reed. They're doing it with every Democrat candidate right now, to be quite honest with you. The same thing that they did with Abigail Spanberger. We cannot buy into it. Don't buy it. It's a load of crap. But they realize that's the only way that they could possibly get elected, because nobody is going to willingly vote for this. You have to deceive the people in order to get them to vote for this. Okay? So yeah. Get out and vote in the midterms, ladies and gentlemen, or you'll have this. Plus more. Homeless encampments, drugs and needles outside of your kids' schools, right? Crime-ridden cities all over the place. I mean, they're already rampant in blue cities, but it'll be more rampant, okay? The border being opened up again. The whole nine, all right? Y'all stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.